IKOGOSI Warm Spring is another creation of nature in EKITI. It is located in EKITI West local government area. Here, the warm springs roll down a hilly landscape to form a confluence with cold spring, believed to be flowing from an opposite direction.
We are at the meeting point of the cold water and the warm water. These two waters are coming from different sources and they are having two different colors.
It's cold. This is the cool water. This is the hot water. See? God.
The local story says that the first person that located the warm water and the cold water was an hunter. His name was Olosun. Olosun, the hunter, came from Ile-Ife so many years ago to attend the annual Hunters Festival at IKOGOSI. IKOGOSI used to be the real name of IKOGOSI town. When Olosun entered into this forest, in order for him to kill a reasonable big size animal to prove his fame as an hunter, he entered into this forest. He did not see any reasonable big size animal to kill. But when he entered into this part of the forest, because it was during the rainy season, the first thing he observed was that this place was filled with steam like water vapor. He was surprised, and the climatic condition of this place was different. I mean, it was warm. Then in an attempt for him to find out what was happening, he decided to stand by one side. After some time, he saw an antelope. The antelope ran to the top of the rock at the source of this water where we are still going. He ran after the antelope in an attempt for him to kill the antelope. He couldn't kill the antelope. He didn't see the antelope because as soon as the antelope got to the top of the rock at the source of this water, the antelope disappeared. So as an hunter, as a famous hunter, he wanted to actually search for that antelope and kill the antelope. His attempt to search for the antelope made him to fall into warm water. It became a surprise for him because he had been seeing waters, but he had not seen water that was so warm like that. So out of curiosity, he decided to trace the source, the water. He knew that the water was springing out from that point where he fell into the water. So he was trying to trace the length of the water. He decided to enter into the water. He now started trekking inside the water. When he got to this place where we call the meeting point now, he noticed that the water was flowing downwards, but there is another water that was coming from the opposite direction. He now decided, he thought within himself that the color of that other water was different, but he was thinking within himself that that could also be part of the warm water. So out of curiosity, he also went to entered into the other water that was flowing from the other direction. As soon as he left the meeting point, he entered into cold water, extremely cold water. It became double surprise for him. He now decided to trace the cold water. Getting to the source of the cold water, he decided to come back again. He now realized that the two waters are meeting at a point, and each of them are not flowing into one another, into each other.
Oh, this is cold. This is cold, man.
It was the oracle, the Ifa oracle, that related the story of the two waters to them. The Ifa oracle made them to understand that long time ago there was a man called Ogongon. Ogongon means straight shooter, atamatase. Ogongon came with his two wives to live in this forest. They were living together in form of polygamous home. Ogongon married 2 wives. The first wife was called Awele Otutubiosu. She was a gentle woman. Awele was easygoing. She's somebody that can tolerate people. She was the type of woman that any man would dream to marry. Whereas the second wife, called Awokpereje, was the direct opposite nature of Awele. She was temperamental. She was tough. She was somebody that is always angry. She's somebody that cannot just tolerate or take any nonsense from anybody. The Ogongon 2 wives, Awele and Awokpereje, they were quarreling one day. Then Awele, the gentlewoman, does not want to fight. She did not want to fight. She decided to go into the far forest. She lied down on the ground in the forest. Quietly, she changed to cold water. So the cold water is Awele Otutubiosu, cold water, after her gentle nature. When the junior wife, Awokpereje, saw the cold water on the 3rd day of that quarrel, out of anger, she decided to rush to the top of the rock where the source of this warm water is. She angrily hit herself to the rock and she died there. And when she died, her flesh scattered. So each of the points that the flesh of Awokpereje touched became the source of this warm water.
The sources of the springs are natural mysteries better conjectured. These 2 springs don't mix even at the meeting point. Neither do they disturb the temperature of each other. They both have distinct medicinal and curative values in a symbiotic nature.
The IKOGOSI people so much believe in the efficacy of that cold water to cure any type of diseases or sickness. In those days, if an indigene of IKOGOSI, because that's the real name of IKOGOSI, an indigene of IKOGOSI living outside the town, maybe abroad or any state or any country or any part of the, if the person is having sickness that they cannot even figure out why that person is having that sickness, or that sickness is as rejected orthodox medicine. If they bring such a person home, that is the water that they will fetch. That cold water is the water they will fetch to bath the person. And there's something they called EPITA in EKITI. EPITA means when you are doing something that is bad to the other person. If such a person that they brought from home has not done that thing that we call EPITA, he has not been wicked to another person, and by the grace of God that created these 2 waters, if they use that water to bath the person, or the person drinks that water, after some time the person will get cured.
The symbolism of the medicinal value cuts a wide story of nature. This is a tourist delight, but it looks abandoned. The tour guide reckoned that the last renovation was done by Kayode Fayemi. Just by the meeting point of the springs is this conjoined trees which rest on a common root. They have been like these for 95 years, not falling. The leaves are not withering. There is a story behind this.
The existence of the 2 trees there spiritually has something to do with the existence of the 2 waters. The 2 trees have existed at the meeting point of IKOGOSI, warm spring and cold spring, for 95 years. Biologically, they said there is a symbiotic relationship. happening between them. In symbiotic relationship, the palm kernel tree is benefiting something from the timber tree, and the timber tree is equally benefiting something from the palm kernel tree. But talking spiritually, I believe they are a symbol. They serve as a symbol to show that something of great importance is happening between the two waters.
Ẹsẹ̀ mú tẹ́lẹ̀ o. Ẹsẹ̀ wé. Ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ mú tẹ́lẹ̀ o. Ẹsẹ̀ wé. Ipa títù náà mẹ́rọ jẹ́rẹ́rẹ́ o. Ẹsẹ̀ wé. Ipa títù náà mẹ́torí lọ́jà ìjàre. Ẹsẹ̀ wé. Ipa títù ló balẹ̀ mẹ́rin. Ẹsẹ̀ wé. Ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ mú tẹ́lẹ̀ o. Ẹsẹ̀ wé. Ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ mú tẹ́lẹ̀ o. Ẹsẹ̀ wé. Manuwe manugungun. Èyí kúlọ̀ lọ́ní fọ́bánà ní. Èyí peléke. Èyí peléke. Kété olóṣèlú ra kó. Mọ̀bẹ̀ jáde jádò. Mọ̀bẹ̀ jáde kájò. Ìyẹjọ́ àtijọ́ fún democracy. Oko. Mo rán lọ o. Mọ̀lálà kò lógun yàgbàjọba o. Èyí peléke. Èyí peléke. Ìjẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ mú tẹ̀lẹ̀. Ẹsẹ̀ rè ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ mú tẹ̀lẹ̀. Ẹsẹ̀ rè oko. Ẹsẹ̀ rè kéèké. Ẹsẹ̀ rè ẹ̀yọ̀ pàkà ìjà fún democracy. Àrùmọ̀yẹ mi kọ́ lọ. Àrùmọ̀yẹ ọmọ ìṣù. Kokushi. Àrùmọ̀yé olóṣèlú kọ́ lọ. Ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ mú tẹ́lẹ̀ o. Ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ mú tẹ́lẹ̀ o. Manuwe manugungun. Èyí kúlọ̀ lọ́ní fọ́bánà ní. Èyí peléke. Èyí peléke. Kété olóṣèlú ra kó. Mọ̀bẹ̀ jáde jádò. Mọ̀bẹ̀ jáde kájò. Ìyẹjọ́ àtijọ́ fún democracy. Oko. Mo rán lọ o. Mọ̀lálà kò lógun yàgbàjọba o. Èyí peléke. Èyí peléke. Ìjẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ mú tẹ̀lẹ̀. Ẹsẹ̀ rè ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ mú tẹ̀lẹ̀. Ẹsẹ̀ rè oko. Ẹsẹ̀ rè kéèké. Ẹsẹ̀ rè ẹ̀yọ̀ pàkà ìjà fún democracy.